Hello, everyone. This is Anna Stanton. I hope you're having a fabulous day. I was just talking to a client who was sharing with me how he had quadrupled the business growth in the last 12 months and got to a stage where it was like wondering where to from here. He knew that there was another path that he wanted to take. And at the same time, he totally loves working in the business that he's currently in. And it's like and he wanted to work with me on clarity of where to from here, and what was the higher vision of where he wanted to take himself and his business, and looking at positivity around mindset also. So a lot of those areas come straight in. But before I go there, some of the areas that he was also talking about was realizing that he had a problem with stopping and focusing in on himself, so that he could then gain consistent growth at a new level. He also noticed the areas that I'm just looking at my notes here. He wanted to work with the practical side of things as well as the mindset, and really, wanting to get his mindset right. And at the same time, having a practical plan on how to move forward. So if you can relate to that, is where you get into this situation where you've grown, you've succeeded in so many different areas, but you know that there's something else, beyond that, but not sure about where to go. So one of the things is I just want to address the how do you allow yourself, when you're a high achiever, go-getter personality style, how do you allow yourself, because you know that side of yourself so well, that, yep, I can claim a vision, I can go for it, and I can get the goal, but is it fulfilling at the same time? Is it really going to take you to where you really want to go? So the question that this business owner had was, how do I stop myself but still move forward, and at the same time, because the business isn't going to stop, right? So how do I stop and then focus inwards on self-growth at the same time as continuing to grow the business, and to know the direction that you want to take the business so that you have business growth, okay? So this is what we're working on. I just want to give you some, 3 areas that you can start with if this is where you find, if you're in this same position. And the first step is to, how do you, it's like the logic brain wants to know the purpose, wants to know a plan. So that's step 1. Knowing that the logic brain wants to know the purpose, first and foremost, you've got to give it a purpose. Now, this business owner also said, I don't really know exactly where to go, so I really want to explore that. Okay? So, because, he's diversified the business, he's done many different things, and he's like, well, where to from here? What do I really want to take it? Yeah? So you need to, first and foremost, to go inward is to give the logic brain something to hang on to that makes it feel productive, purposeful. Yeah. And the ways to do that is to start making, snippets of time, doesn't have to be a lot, where you're doing some form of self-reflection. And it can start with, the logic brain can say things like, okay, so we've, as this man said, we've quadrupled the business in the last 12 months, and you can have a look at in what ways have we done that. Bang, bang, bang. All right, so what's calling me now? What are the areas, the inklings, the ideas that I've had that I might not have had time to put into play? So for the growth of the company, yeah, the logic brain wants to know that side of it, but it also wants to know there's a side inside which brings you to the next step, is to create a new relationship with the logic, high achiever, push, drive, go-getter personality, with the inner self-growth you. Yeah. So that person inside who knows there's something. And it's going to take some time, some reflection, something different for that to evolve. It's not going to be I've got to push and I've got to fix it, because this guy also said to me, I love problem solving. And that's a certain aspect of the brain that you're tapping into. But when it comes to self growth, you can't bring the same solution orientated thinking into the exploration of self, because we don't know where it's going to go. Very different. So how do we do that? Yeah. You'll also have inklings, gut feel, intuition. And this is where the intuitive visionary leader comes in. So that's tapping into number 2. It's going inwards to be able to start jotting down the nudges, the inklings, I really would like to do that, moving in that direction. Yeah. What does it look like? What do you actually need? What are the resources and so forth? And this is where a plan starts to take shape, and I like to call it the jigsaw puzzle plan. It's not coming from logic brain, it's coming from a whole creativity. It's the whole you. Yeah, the you that you know of, this is what we've developed with the business, where you've been in the past. These are the areas that you've tried. And then this is coming inward. You know that there's a path inside of you that you would like to grow, but you don't know what that looks like yet. Yeah. And you don't know where it's moving, which direction it's moving into. You may have inklings, but some and most of the time when you're in a position of growth and we've hit that glass ceiling, and then it's like, where to from here? Yeah, I've achieved, I've received, I've been successful. Where to from here? And this is where you go inwards. So the third area that I'd like you to take note on is to start to trust those instincts. Yeah. And this is where the intuitive visionary plan starts to come together, and you notice the nudges, the synchronicities, the meetings that come out of the blue. Yeah. The odd reconnection that was like, didn't know that was going to happen. Yeah. So when you start to become more self-aware of what's really going on, instead of chasing after, so the head moves forward, what this takes is to become truly present, being in a state of presence to capture the moments, the magic moments. And you start to listen in. So you're listening into the inner voice, you're listening into the inner vision, and you're starting to then put that into some formational plan as you start to take action. And I like to call that inspired action. So you're coming from inside out, and this is where the quantum shifts occur. This is where you really don't know where it's going to go, and an intuitive vision just opens up that you step into. And this is where you get to live with purpose, and you realize that inspirational vision that's been there all along, and it's taking shape. It's building momentum. Yeah, that is more fulfilling from inside out. Yeah. So if this is something that you're interested in knowing more about, I'm very passionate about this subject. My purpose and passion is to coach high achieving leaders on how to come back within, to get to know their higher self, and how do they then identify what the higher purpose and the higher vision is, so that they can live their creative potential and feel fulfilled along the way. Yeah. So I'd be happy to have a conversation with you further about that if you'd like to connect with me. My name's Anna Stanton, and I look forward to tuning with you again soon. Thank you. Bye for now.